Jackson, look, check this out. Since week 9, he ranks first in the National Football League in completion percentage with almost 80% completion, yards per attempt 9.5, and touchdowns with 11, and a passer rating, guess what, guys? 145.1. Let's get it.
Baltimore, the #1 offense in the league, 34 points per game, which is right around what the Rams were putting up at this time of year last year. So far, they haven't been scoring in bunches like that this season, Steve Weich, but there's reason to think they could take a step in that direction tonight. Why is that?
Well, first off, Lindsay, I want to talk about the field conditions here. The field conditions all day long, they've been getting things together because USC played UCLA here Saturday, really churned up the turf, and by the end of the week, they're actually going to rip this field up and resod it. Also for the Rams, wide receiver Robert Woods, he is active tonight, but of course the star of the show, Lamar Jackson, he just took the field. The Rams say they've got to be sure in tackling him in space, and they've got to wrap him up. He is much stronger than what he looks like. You see him break a lot of tackles. And for the Ravens, they said they know the Rams' run defense is one of the best in the NFL. The challenge for them is adapting to what opposing defenses do because they change up so much to stop Lamar Jackson. All right, Scott Hansen, let me send it over to you guys on the opposite end of the field.
Steve, thank you very much. Pleased to be joined by our analytics expert right now, Cynthia Freeland, here to put the Ravens and Rams game into the game theory. And Cynthia, when you look at this matchup, you could take any one of the all 22 that'll be on the field. Give me a one-on-one matchup that me and the fans can watch tonight.
Well, I want to see how Jalen Ramsey does against Marquise Brown, because since he's become a Ram, he's allowed a 72% completion percentage, which is a lot higher than we would expect from this elite guy. Well, and Marquise Brown, in his past 6 games, he's only topped 50 yards once, although he is their leading deep target with 2 deep touchdowns that leads the team in receptions, in targets on these deep passes. But if they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, I want to see how these deep passes happen against this kind of competition.
Yeah, Ramsey maybe individually, statistically speaking, hasn't been the all-pro level Jalen Ramsey, and yet you look at the Rams' defensive numbers as a whole, they have become a better defense since the acquisition. Of course, I think the Ravens would take it too because Marcus Peters has been fantastic on the other side as well. All right, what do you and the algorithm say is going to happen here tonight in the ball game?
Well, I think it's going to be a 29-24 outcome in favor of the away team. I have the Ravens taking this one in a 5-point win, so a comfortable win for them in a pretty high-scoring game for the week. And I really like the matchup of what Lamar Jackson's going to do against Aaron Donald, how they're going to scheme, because you know how you stop pressure, Scott, you run right at it, right? And you know what Lamar Jackson does.
He'll bring it.
He runs right at it. So you want a projection for Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I do, because there are a lot of fantasy matchups that are relying on Lamar Jackson to get him a win here tonight.
Well, it's a good thing that he's my #1 quarterback for the week then. Over 300 total yards with 2 touchdowns through the air and 1 touchdown on the ground. That's 3 touchdowns. Do you think my model projects 3 a lot? Because the answer is no, it does not. Very stingy model.
Well, the model doesn't get to see a lot of players with the talent level of Lamar Jackson.
No, you're
either.
right. You're right.
Cynthia Freeland calling for a Ravens win and a big night for the potential MVP. Lindsay?
Looks like a good time out there. You know who else is having a good time right about now? The Cleveland Browns, who scored 4 touchdowns on their first 5 drives yesterday against the Dolphins. That was Jarvis Landry's old team, against whom he went off. 148 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, 10 catches. Final score 41-24. And look who is right back in the mix for a playoff berth all of a sudden. Cleveland 5-6, still a game out of the wild card spot. And yes, there are quite a few teams ahead of them, but if they keep playing the way they have in their last 3 all wins, by the way, they're going to be there, Mike.
Yeah, possibly. But, you know, we do have to pump the brakes. There's some teams in front of them. But I tell you one thing, they play phenomenally. I mean, playing the Miami Dolphins, they got a lot of explosive plays down the football field. And if people are not giving Baker Mayfield the credit he deserves, he does deserve some of this credit. But it all starts with Nick Chubb and this run game. And, of course, I got some tape to show you exactly what I'm talking about. You look at right here. First of all, look at Odell Beckham right here. He's going to go across the field. But check out the play action. This not only gets the underneath coverage displaced, but it helps in pass protection. And look at Odell doing Odell types of things, getting the football at its highest point, making his body limp so that he can get in the end zone. Then he does the baby dance and whatever else he does right there. I can't do that dance. So look, you look at right here, taking the same concept. You have Odell Beckham having kind of a deep post going across the football field. Again, another play action, getting the linebackers looking and running. Where's Odell? Where's Odell? Well, you know what? Freddie Kitchen said, no, we're not going to throw this ball to Odell right here. We're going to throw it to Nick Chubb on the screen, and look how Nick Chubb gets down this sidewalk. Look at it. He got a double team right there, gets on the outside, and finishes this run like a running back, getting down the football field. I love what I'm seeing from this Cleveland Browns offense. The only thing is they have to keep it going week after week. You can't play the Miami Dolphins every week.
Well, the team they play next is the same team that they beat the week before they beat the Miami
what do you mean
Dolphins.
beat?
In that too
my bad.
soon.
My bad. I'm
the
sorry.
Thursday night game. Won't have Myles Garrett for the rematch. Will Pittsburgh have Mason Rudolph? You know, he was benched yesterday for Devlin Hodges. Another
We'll see.
rough outing for him. Pro Bowl voting is still open, and you've got some time to vote for your favorite player at NFL.com/Pro Bowl vote. The 2020 Pro Bowl presented by Verizon going down Sunday, January 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Lamar Jackson, who you will see tonight, is leading the voting.
He ain't
for
trying
now.
to play in that game, though.
True. He's trying to play in a different game the next week. Can he also lead the Ravens to a win
Look at
in
Willie.
Los Angeles? Is that Michael Vick?
I tried to tackle you this one time.